So here to introduce Swidget. I'm super excited about this project, and I just want to thank the scene for giving me an opportunity to share it all with you, and Leslie and Paul and Sherry who have all at times offered advice and inspiration and whatnot. So yeah, Swidget. So I'll just start by saying it's a website, because sometimes I do this whole show about what it is, and people are like, oh, is that a website I should go to check it out? And I'm like, yes, it is a website. That's what it is. And I see it's a website that I've designed to be as a platform for the future economy. I mean, I think the economy, how it works is a disaster. It's obviously not worked out very well at all for the planet and for most of the people on it. And I think that we've reached this point where we can use technology to reconnect communities and regain access to the knowledge about what we have to offer, what the resources, people, the ideas, the opportunities around us. We've lost the connection with that because lives are busy and the scale of everything is so big. But I think we now have an opportunity with technology to find the people and the things in our neighborhoods and our dorms and our towns and our communities and start taking advantage of them again, instead of just relying on this whole outside world. So, and again, if enough people are using this space, this community portal will also be a forum for discussion and keeping in contact with the ideas and the things that are happening in the community. And it would, just in the simplest form, it would just be a directory of all the things that are around us. Like a super dynamic, high-tech Yellow Pages in a way. Like this is where you would go to find something in your local area. Again, it's about access. It's about, we live in this world of like individual ownership, and everyone wants to own their own thing. And we're going to be shift to this economy where it's about getting access instead of ownership and opportunity. And so this is going to be a platform, hopefully, that will allow people to get that. And fundamentally, what it is just a tool to connect with people around you again, because I think that's something that's lacking. This internet has shown us all these ways to share and collaborate with other people and all around the world, but somehow I feel like we're still lacking that tool and community. And we're still using Craigslist, which, again, because it's a critical mass, is a really great thing, but it's anonymous. It lacks the social element. It lacks features, and I think it lacks businesses, for instance. I mean, it's largely for individuals, so this is a platform for the whole community that will incorporate individuals and businesses and organizations and the government and whatnot. How you're going to use Swidget is going to depend who you are and what you're trying to use it for, but assuming that most of the people here in this audience are business owners or entrepreneurs, you might use it to offer your goods, your services, whatever you're in business for, put it up there so people can find it. To share information about your industry, basically make a pitch for why people should be buying your product, or what is it that's important about which, the solution you're solving, and you just, keep your customers up to date on the solutions you're and finding new customers, or maybe more precisely having them find you, and staying connected with existing ones and being able to keep them up to date on new things you're offering, or just news about your business, closing or opening or new product lines. Certainly to promote any events you may have, or sales, special offers that you want to get out to people, and eventually, hopefully, it'll be just a community bulletin board where you be able to find employees. If enough people are using it, I think that you'll be able to do all sorts of cool things on it. Anyway, so if any of you currently, for your business, use Facebook, you might notice that there are some similarities here, but I think there are also a lot of differences. For instance, Facebook is a private social network, and Swidget is a public network. You can use it also as a private network, but by default it's public, so when you, as an organization, post something on there, it's available to the public. You aren't limited just to the people that have liked your page, so you just have a larger audience. And I think it's easier to organize stuff that you put out there, so instead of just having status updates that kind of get lost, you can tag and organize things so that if people are browsing later on local food or energy efficiency or something that's in sort of your realm of business, that they'll find you instead of having to specifically be on your page to see what you're doing. There'll be a lot more avenues to discover you. And people on Swidget, I mean, I see Facebook as this thing where that's like a social space. You go there to connect with your friends, to see what's going on. Swidget is sort of the rest of your life where you're doing your business, you're supporting yourself, you're working, you're connecting with your community, and that's sort of, again, I think people who go in there will be in a space where they're looking to acquire things, they're looking to find things, they're trying to make those connections, and I think that's just, from a business perspective, like a better space to be in, as opposed to Facebook where they're there trying to play with their friends. There are just additional features that interact with your posts, like bookmark them or make personal suggestions, or set up email alerts for events that they might want to go to. And just in general, I feel like business is such a part of the community that, and Facebook, for instance, added as an afterthought, and I want to try to integrate it in, right from the beginning, and acknowledge that this is part of the economy and a really huge part of it. And it's a place where businesses are just side by side individuals, and we're all connected together. How much do your business benefit from Swidget? Well, again, it's to me all about trying to strengthen access to local resources, and I think this will give you, if and when Swidget is established as a network in this community, and people start using it as a de facto tool to find things instead of going down to Walmart or going to the mall. Like you go to Swidget and type in Blender and see side by side like places, local businesses who might be selling it, and people who might be sharing it or trading it, or maybe someone wants to, a neighbor wants you to has one you can just borrow or something for free. Anyway, once on Swidget, Walmart won't be represented there, and these big outside corporations won't be represented. So people are going there and they're finding things on Swidget, and it's just you guys, and it's just us, and it's not the rest of the world. And so I think we'll give an advantage over outside competition. And just I think the power of a social network within a commercial space is really amazing. I mean, we've seen from Facebook how being able to network and collaborate and share sort of things that have emerged from that, and that's again just sort of in a social realm. But if you could do that same thing with your products and your opportunities and that sort of stuff, I think that if you've got a quality service, a good product, like that's going to rise to the top. People are going to share it. It's going to be found. It's going to be discovered, and that sort of thing. So I think just seeing how people are using Swidget, the things they're asking for, will allow businesses potentially identify new opportunities for doing business, new little niches to work in, and certainly just to find other businesses and people to work with and collaborate with. I love the word collaborate. I see it as a platform for collaboration, and I haven't even actually used that word yet, but I'm going to start doing it because collaboration is great. I'm just going to kind of breeze through this slide because probably most of you understand the fundamentals of this, but obviously a huge amount of money, commercial activity is escaping our local economy and going to pad the pockets of corporations and wealthy individuals. And the more of that that stays here, the more opportunities that are going to emerge for people here, for more jobs, for more micro enterprises, for expansion of new markets and products, and so that'll all be good. And I also think it'll just allow people, even if you're not necessarily starting a new business or launching a new product line, that you will have more opportunities with less because of access to sharing and trading and collaborating with the people around you, and knowing what the neighbors in the street or the people in your dorm have to offer you, instead of having to, again, rely on outside corporations. And that'll all, I think, just to be a positive feedback loop, where the more people are doing this, the more sort of energy and fuel into the local economy, and the more opportunities will sort of come from that. How much team members do we switch it to support one another? Well, first of all, just as a caveat, like some of the things I'm telling you about Swidget won't necessarily happen until enough people are using it. It is about a critical mass thing. So the thing you can probably do the best is just help it grow and help tell your customers, your friends, share it, and help it get established, because I think I believe it'll benefit mostly everyone here that has something like this available. And then using social tools that are available on the site, like sharing and recommending to shout out to the businesses that you want to support. I see a lot of opportunities for offering collaborative sales or packages that businesses can kind of come together and have these various different things that are offered together at a discount, or just finding ways for businesses to kind of leverage this space to yeah. Anyway, and sharing resources. Does every business need to have their own vehicle or office space or office equipment? I mean, some of you may, but other ones maybe it would make a lot more sense if you could find the people of the other businesses out there to kind of puzzle pieces, match things together and find ways to cooperate and not reduce your costs and needs and work with others. So yeah, this last part is just basically where to go from here. If you like this, if you want to get involved, if you want to help it, certainly you can start by creating a Swidget account. You can create one for yourself or your business and control them from the same account. I'm very open and interested in collaborating actively with anyone out there that thinks that they have a way to work with Swidget and help each other. Certainly I'm about to enter a stage where it's going to be supported. It's free for anyone to use. It'll be supported by local advertising, so if you're interested in potentially advertising Swidget, that'll be a way to give me a little income and help Swidget grow. And I definitely want to hear questions that people have, because I can't always explain all things it is, and I'd like to hear what sort of gaps I have in my explanation and people's understanding of it, and certainly just giving me feedback about. There's a zillion things that I know I need to improve, and I would love to do that, but there's probably some additional things. So, you got a question?
What's it look like?
Okay. I gotta figure out how to get out of a skate park. Oh, that's not wrong. So just I'm actually gonna log in because it's much cooler when you're logged in, I think. Alright, so I don't know what you can see up here, but this is the beta version of the platform. It works. I'm definitely actively working to improve it. But right now, this is the main feed. You can see people are posting things they want. They have events. You can add items. Over on the side, there will be featured. For instance, somebody asked about how Swidget can work with the swaps. Like, you can go on and you can create an event, list it as a swap, and then you'll be able to see all the swaps that are happening around town, or the sales in stores, or that sort of thing. And you go to an individual.
Do you have criteria for how long things are staying on that website?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Right now, there is not. I'm going to basically integrate that in so that, after a certain period of time, it will remind me, is this still an active post? Is this something you still have to offer? So it's very organized by, I have these things called geotags, so you can, for instance, browse,
if it's a description of a company, then that should stay, but then eventually people are
Yeah, there's so many different cases. But
can you read that question?
Oh, just what's the control for making sure the posts are updated and that things aren't out of date? How long does something actively stay on there? Anyway, so you add something, you can tag things. So this is, for instance, everything that's been tagged Fall Creek, or you can trying to incorporate different neighborhoods. So you can see very locally what's in your street, in your dorm, in your part of town. And you can do the same thing, for instance, with currency. So when you're adding things, for instance, accepts Ithaca hours. This is, again, what I see is I would like this to be a platform for all the sorts of things that are happening here with Ithaca hours and the time bank and whatever other currencies or things involved. open up the marketplace for that and make it easier for people to find things that are available with these things. So you can add something on Swidget and say you'll accept Ithac hours for it, and then you can browse all the things that are available. Put it in Ithac hours, or they're available for massage, or that you can get, exchange for plants. So you can basically list anything as a currency, and then be able to browse whatever is available with that currency. And then even subscribe to something, a specific currency. So if you're a masseuse and you can subscribe to the For Massage tag and then get a daily digest of everything everyone's offered or is put up on the site and that they would be willing to give for massage or that sort of thing. So just trying to make it easier for you to find things and offer things.
Do you use hashtags like Twitter? Is that what you mean by tags?
Yeah, it's just their way to categorize and organize things. That just gives it a little more structure and fluidity, so you can.
Well, how would ISR make a post put a tag on?
So let's say I'm adding an item here. Again, you can make it public or private. So basically, if I wanted to take something about just adding something about the mayoral election, you just add little things in like that. The ones that have been used already have been stored. So, these are kind of random things, but these are like common ones that have been used already, so plants. So you can just add these tags and then they'll yeah, this is kind of random. And you can use, again, the geotag. So I live on the south side, so I might put that up. And then you can also use geotags for places. So if, for instance, you want to see everything that was happening in the Southside Community Center, then you can browse that feed, or everything that's happening at the space at Green Star. So a lot of these things are still works in progress. And again, this is like a super beta version of this idea. And it's going to be expanding and growing a lot of it next year. And great.
So, I've given a lot of thought to local social media, and a lot of the things that we're talking about tonight are creating really hyper-local versions of things that are national and/or global. We can think of Facebook as being the big box of social networks, or Craigslist as being the big box of social networks. But the thing about big box stores is they offer everything in such a packaged and convenient and refined way that it's almost like it's easy to just go and get what you need. And I think it takes a fundamental shift in the way you think about getting your resources to really go with just a local option when there's such an easy alternative right there. And I feel like in order to see people starting to use Swidget over using Craigslist or over using Facebook, there really has to be kind of like a paradigm shift in the way we're thinking about using these tools. Just like I'm going to decide not to drive and say I'm going to bike everywhere. I'm going to walk everywhere. That's a lifestyle choice. And so it seems like there has to be some sort of I don't know how to explain it, but there has to be some sort of a public mindset shift. And that has to come from discussions like these. And I'm curious what thought you might have given to this phenomenon, how to really change the public mindset about what tools we're using online.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it is, I'm hoping that if that's going to happen by really engaging the community on very many different levels. Again, Craigslist, it's largely individuals posting things, whereas there's not I wouldn't go there to find out where I could buy, a handmade pottery. Maybe some of that's on there, but I think that by bringing together the businesses and having them bring their products online and bringing together all the not-for-profits and bringing their causes and their events and their ideas online and integrating things that are already existing, like the Health Alliance and the Free School and Share Tompkins. And those things are absent, I think, largely from a lot of these networks, and one of the reasons why is that they're lacking. So I think that it's a tremendous challenge, and it's going to be very difficult, but I think that by partly brute force and partly because I think this is a community that's ready for this. People will make a little extra effort, I'm hoping. And I think that I don't know if it's going to work, and I don't have an exact answer to it, but I think that I mean, it's sort of, there's this huge buy local movement. This is sort of a local thing, and support local business, I think, will go a little bit of the way for doing that. But, yeah, that's a tremendous challenge, and I haven't entirely solved it. I don't know exactly how it'll pan out.
Yeah, I think that is a question that I'd really love to pose to everyone who spoke tonight, because really I think all of these different projects are paradigm shifts, and they really are going to require like a group buy-in. Like we're all on board.
Yeah.
We're all on board, and we're going to actively choose to use these tools and to stay in our community rather than to use the convenient national and global movement.
Oh yeah. Yes.
What are the criteria to accept a business, for example? Or what is your strategy to attract the business that you want on there?
I mean, as soon as I'm ready, I'm going to go around and introduce myself to every business that I can and explain how they can use it, and provide resources and tools, videos, how-tos to explain, how you can best take advantage of it. I mean, there's so many different businesses, and depending on what you're in business for, you might use it in different ways. Like in what aspects of your operations you most want to highlight. It's not going to make sense for everyone to put every individual item on there. In some cases, you might just put general categories and others.
Or link to your own website.
What's that?
Or link to your own
Well,
website.
that's one of the things that Swidget will be able to do. Is you'll be able to, if you have a Swidget account, you'll be able to put a little widget on your page, your own website. There'll be a feed of your, like a little a store of your stuff that you add a Swidget, or a list of your events that you're creating. So basically, being able to bring Swidget onto your own website and make it into a little storefront there. I think will be part of that, Greg. Yes?
What's been going through my mind is
I can speak up a little. LinkedIn.
I'm a member of LinkedIn, and all I do is invite people to join my network. I don't have any idea how to use it. And I probably won't, because a lot of people that are on LinkedIn doesn't even live in this town. So, I'm lost in that.
Right.
So I would have to really know how to use it. And why would I want to I would want to use it to connect with people. I would want to use it for a reliable way to put out the word so that people who I want to see are going to see it. As a business, as an entrepreneur business owner, if I'm going to invest my time, it just seems like a fabulous idea. I would like to see it a little more simplified, a little more like I offer bump 1, 2, 3, and no more than that, and see how that goes. Don't offer too much because it might get lost in one place.
Yes, I'm definitely aware of that.
Fabulous.
I'm trying to focus.
Join immediately. Because I might not know exactly how.
Well,
that's part of the project. I think there's going to be an education process, a learning curve, and yes, to whatever extent I can make it like more focused and easier to understand and use right off the bat.
I'd rather not be a LinkedIn.
I'm sorry?
I'd rather not be a LinkedIn. I'd rather be doing this.
Yeah, and I think that this is going to offer, again, what I feel like we're lacking is a community portal. I mean, this is what Swidget is. Like, you could never even buy or sell anything on Swidget and still find it really useful for finding events or finding places or meeting people or having discussions. So, I mean, I think what I'm trying to create is a space that is useful for a lot of people, different people in a lot of different ways, and I think that's what will ultimately make it work, is that there will be a lot of reasons to come in, and you might come in at first just to have a discussion or post an item and then be like, oh wait, look, I can also share and trade and give stuff away on here. So I'm trying to create a lot of reasons for people to come, and this talk, if I had been given this to a different audience, I might have framed it very differently. Last question?
Really quick, for us to help you, given that this is a beta, can you show us really quickly, maybe somewhere on the site, that you have a place where we can post comments or reflections about the site working or not working?
Yeah,
the way that we can
use the contact form. Right off the page. Anyway, right up here, you just say contact, and you can get in touch with me. I mean, there's no
But there's after discussion threads if you wanted to have a group discussion.
Right.
Well, I was thinking more as the designer, hey, this link isn't working, or how do I use this, or
Yeah, that contact form. We got more questions.
All right, a couple more questions?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a question about making it simpler. One of the things that I look at in my work at Canton Library is dashboards. Are you thinking about having customization options where people fill out their profile and then the things that they're most interested are right there so they don't have to?
Yes, I mean, I have a lot of plans like that in the future. And again, this has been sort of something I put together with limited resources and the skills. So, I mean, I hate my pet, but I hate the website. It was so much better. It could have so many more features and have the ones that are available clear, easier to use. But it still represents, I think, a considerable improvement over Craigslist and allows you to use it in a way that Facebook doesn't. So even though I don't think it's great right now, I still think it's definitely a very useful tool.
So what's your business model?
Hyper-local advertising, I mean, that a business could target people in Fall Creek or that is interested in local food. I mean, the idea is if you know like very much what they're looking for, then that's...
So you're going to have publicity on the site?
No, not really. I mean, you can take any item and feature it, which will give it like extra visibility in a feed. And you could also maybe sponsor a feed. So if you wanted to, if there's a tag, for instance, if you wanted to sponsor the tag massage for your massage business to appear at the top of the massage feed, like that's something you could do. Yes.
I actually just want to add a comment to the question about Shapebar on LinkedIn. And I think one of the things that's important to point out, the difference I see between Swidget and a Facebook or a LinkedIn is those other services and sites are intended to allow individuals to access the resources they need and establish their own social capital, and that the better connected we are, the better we can find resources that we need to improve our position. Where it seems that Swidget is less about a personal social network to help us access our own personal resources, but more of a community capital. And that if we're all connected within that and we could all share the resources, then that social capital of an individual's potential to do better is transferred to a community capital. And I think that's a very big difference between a LinkedIn and a Swidget, whereas LinkedIn is intended to allow individuals to very privately and intentionally build their networks for their own gain, whereas Swidget is intentionally publicly building a community network for a community gain. And I think that makes it a very different social tool than the other ones in that it's not even really the same tool. The other ones are very personal gain oriented, whereas this is that the community gain is what equals the personal gain. So I just wanted to follow up on the question about LinkedIn, because they're coming at it from a very, very different approach. And I just thought that was an important difference to point out.
Yes, good answer. Do you want to answer the rest of my question?